Imagine this. You're standing in front of her, not touching, not flirting, not trying too hard, just talking. And in that quiet space between words, there's something she feels, something she can't explain. Most men never learn why a woman falls for someone's voice, not their face, someone's words, not their looks, because attraction doesn't start with beauty. It starts with feeling understood, and the right compliment spoken the right way doesn't just touch her ego, it pierces her heart. Welcome to Psychology of Desire. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to learn isn't surface-level dating advice. This is emotional strategy, psychological connection, and the subtle art of making a woman feel something she can't ignore. Here's the truth. Every woman has heard a million empty compliments. You're beautiful, nice smile, wow, you look great. It's noise, just noise. It fades the second it's said, but there are compliments, rare ones, that don't disappear. They stay with her, they play in her mind hours later. They make her replay her voice when she's alone, when nobody's watching, and that is where attraction is born. Not in the moment, but in the echo. Because real compliments have nothing to do with describing her. They make her feel seen. Women don't fall for admiration. Women fall for recognition. When a man notices something nobody else notices, he creates a doorway into her emotions, and once you walk through that doorway, she can't see you the same way again. But before you ever say a word, understand this. Women are masters of emotional radar. They sense intention. If you compliment to impress her, she'll hear it in your tone. If you compliment to get approval, she'll feel it in your energy. But if you compliment because you genuinely observed something rare, something real, something almost hidden, that's when her guard lowers. Not because she wants to, but because her mind loses the ability to protect itself from authenticity. So imagine she's talking, telling a story about her life, her dreams, something she cared about. Most men stare at her lips or her hair, but you listen. You watch the way her voice softens when she cares, the way her eyes light up when she remembers something beautiful, the way she laughs, not because something's funny, but because she's trying to hide how much something matters. And when you speak, you don't compliment her body. You compliment her soul. Because here's the secret, a woman doesn't fall for the man who tells her she's beautiful. She falls for the man who makes her forget every time she ever doubted herself. And the first compliment that does this is the one that tells her something about herself she never expected you to notice. Not beauty, not style, not looks, but presence, depth, heart. Women are surrounded by men who only see the surface. The man who sees underneath is the one she can't get out of her head. So before we dive into the first compliment, remember this. You are not trying to make her like you. You are giving her an emotional experience. You are giving her a feeling she didn't see coming. And once a woman feels something powerful in your presence, she chases the source of that feeling, even if she doesn't realize she's doing it. The first compliment that makes a woman fall, sometimes without even realizing it, is the one that touches her identity. Not who she looks like, but who she is. Because every woman carries two versions of herself, the one the world sees and the one she hides. When a man sees the hidden version, she feels exposed, but in the most intoxicating way. So imagine this moment. She's laughing, talking, maybe telling a story she doesn't think is important, and while most men just hear the words, you hear the meaning. You tell her, you know what I noticed? You care. Even when you don't say it out loud, you feel things deeply. She won't expect it. Not from you, not from anyone, because that compliment isn't about her appearance, it's about her emotional DNA. It tells her. You see the softness she tries to guard, the strength she hides behind her smile, the sensitivity she doesn't always admit. Most men compliment what is obvious. You compliment what is invisible. And the crazy part, she'll replay that sentence later. She'll lie in bed and hear it again. Because deep down, every woman wants to be understood more than she wants to be admired. That's the psychology behind it. Human attraction is driven by emotional validation. When someone recognizes the part of us we think no one sees, they gain access to our trust. And once trust opens, attraction follows like a shadow. And here's where the dark psychology twists in. She won't just feel good about what you said. She'll start noticing the way you see her. She'll compare the way you listen to the way others don't. Her mind will begin to ask questions she can't ignore. Why does he notice these things about me? How did he catch what everyone else missed? Why do I feel safe with him and a little scared at the same time? Because there's power in being seen and there's danger in it too. When a woman feels understood, she becomes vulnerable. And vulnerability is the doorway to attachment. But the second compliment is even stronger because it builds something deeper than emotion. It builds admiration. You say to her, I like the way you think. Not you're right, not you're smart, but the way she thinks. That sentence is magnetic. It tells her her mind is attractive. Her perspective matters, her thoughts have value, and the moment a woman feels intellectually desired, she forms a bond that physical attraction can't beat. She'll start thinking differently around you, talking differently, opening up more because you made her feel powerful, not for how she looks, but for how she sees the world. And here's the psychological twist. When a woman feels admired for her intelligence, she lowers her guard. Women are used to being wanted for their beauty. They're not used to being desired for their mind. When a man chooses her for something rare, not something every man wants, her emotions attach with intensity. You're no longer just a man. You become the man who gets her. But the third compliment, that one isn't about her mind or her emotions. That one cuts deeper. That one touches a part of her that even she doesn't talk about. And that's where the real connection, the powerful, unforgettable kind, begins. The third compliment is the most dangerous, the most intimate, and the one she will never forget, even if she tries. Because this compliment doesn't describe her mind or her emotions. It describes her impact. And impact is where love is born. You look at her, not in a dramatic way, not in a poetic performance, but in a quiet, sincere moment, and you say, you know what's crazy? You change the energy of a room without even trying. It's not you're attractive, it's not you're charming, it's deeper. You're not talking about how she looks. You're talking about the effect she has on the world around her. Most people go through life feeling invisible, unnoticed, replaceable. Even beautiful women feel this more than you think. But when you tell a woman she has presence, something shifts inside her because presence can't be faked. Presence means she matters. Presence means people feel her even before they understand her. And suddenly she's not thinking about what she looks like. She's thinking about who she becomes when she's around you. That's psychology. When you compliment a woman's impact, her brain associates that impact with your voice, your presence, your perception. And the moment your voice becomes tied to her confidence, she stops wanting attention from the world and starts wanting it from you. But here's where the dark psychology gets interesting. Women don't fall for compliments. They fall for the man who gives them. If your compliment feels rare, intelligent, and emotionally precise, she starts to feel that you are rare, intelligent, and emotionally precise, and that changes everything. She'll begin noticing the way you observe the world, the way you speak, the way you listen. She'll start seeing you through a different lens, not as a man trying to impress her, but as a man who feels her on a level she didn't expect. Because a woman's deepest desire is not to be admired, it's to be understood. A beautiful woman hears compliments every day, but a woman who feels seen. She never forgets the man who saw her, and here's the part most men never realize. Real attraction doesn't begin when she smiles at your compliment. It begins when she thinks about it later. When she's driving home, when she's lying in bed, when she's replaying your voice without meaning to, the mind attaches to what it can't explain. When she can't figure out how you notice something about her no one else sees, she starts to crave the answer, and the answer is you. That's how emotional connection becomes attraction. That's how attraction becomes desire. And that's how desire becomes something stronger, something she can't control, even if she wants to. But there's one thing every man must understand. These compliments only work if you mean them. If you say them without emotion, they fall flat. If you say them to manipulate, she'll feel the lie. But if you say them with presence, attention, and truth, you won't just impress her, you'll change her. Because the most powerful compliment is the one that reveals a part of her she didn't know was visible. And once a woman realizes you can see her, she'll want to see you too. And if you really think about it, the reason these compliments work isn't because they're clever or poetic or beautifully phrased. It's because they tell a woman something she rarely hears in this world. I see you. Not the makeup, not the smile, not the surface, but the truth beneath it. Most men chase a woman's attention. A rare man earns her trust, and the rarest earns a place in her mind. If you notice her presence, her impact, her depth, her strength, her softness, she will feel that and she will remember it. Because women don't fall for men who want their bodies. They fall for men who touch their emotions. Compliments that reach her mind, change her thoughts. Compliments that reach her heart, change her feelings. But compliments that reach her soul, change the way she sees you forever. If this video helped you understand attraction on a deeper level, then don't just watch and leave. Subscribe to Psychology of Desire, because here you don't learn tricks, you learn the emotional science of human connection. And the next video could be the one that changes everything for you. So stay curious, stay patient, and remember, the right words don't just make her smile, the right words make her fall. Thanks for watching. Until next time.